Amigos, ¿cómo estás? Why am I speaking Spanish? Because we are at Roland Garros and this tournament rhymes with the Spaniard Rafael Nadal. He has a tough first match today against world number 4 and Olympic champion Alexander Zverev. Let's see, with Rafa on clay, anything is possible. However, today I'm not here to talk about Rafael Nadal, but Roland Garros prize money. How much do single players earn at Roland Garros? Is there equal pay between men and women? What are their earnings for the double players? Do juniors make money? We will also talk about the wheelchair athletes who are playing in the tournament at the same time. What are their earnings? I will try to answer all of these questions, so let's go. The French Open is the second Grand Slam of the year. The tournament is owned by the French Tennis Federation. Last year, in 2023, the overall allocation had already seen a sharp increase, plus 12% compared to 2022, to reach 49.6 million euros. This year, it's not 49.6 million, but more than 53 million euros will be given to all the participants involved. The allocation increased by 8% this year compared to 2023. Overall, earnings increase each year, prove that the tournament is doing pretty well. Regarding equal pay, you should know that since 2007, men and women have received the same earnings at Roland Garros. Before going into the details of this amount, the 53 million mentioned, where Roland Garros stands in relation to other Grand Slam tournaments. In 2024, we can only compare the French tournament to the Australian Open because the prize money of the two other Grand Slam has not yet been revealed. There are slightly more earnings at Roland Garros that compared to the Australian Open. 53.4 million in Paris, to be a little bit more precise, against 52.8 million in Melbourne. We don't have yet the figures for Wimbledon, but it will be in the same range as Roland Garros, I think. On the other hand, the US Open, it is above everybody else. It will be around 60 million. But back to the Paris tournament. Earnings are not distributed in the same way across different competitions. The tournament organization wishes to increase earnings in certain competitions rather than others. Indeed, to ensure a better distribution of earnings between players, they wanted to significantly increase the prize money for the first round of the single main draw and continue to increase the amount allocated to qualifying events as well as wheelchair tennis events. Players eliminated in the first round of the main draw will receive 73,000 euros, 4,000 euros more than last year. Prior to the main draw, there are those who play the qualification. It brings together tennis players between the 100th place and the 250th place in the ATP and WTA rankings. The qualification saw its prize money increase by more than 24.5%, while the total prize money of the tournament increased by 8%. This clearly shows the significant focus on qualifying players, which is good. In the event of an elimination in the first round of the qualifier, the player will receive 20,000 euros. If he or she fails in the final round of the qualifier, he or she will leave with 41,000 euros in the pocket. Very, very important for these players to benefit from the prize money increase because they often struggle on the tour to survive financially. They already have few or no sponsors. They receive little or no invitation bonuses from tournament participation. And their tournament earnings often do not finance their cost for hotels, plane, food, racket strings, etc. Like in singles, for double players, there is equal pay in winnings between men and women. Prices ranges from 17,000 euros for an elimination in the first round to almost 600,000 euros for a victory in the tournament. These amounts are not paid individually, but per team. Therefore, individually, you must divide this figure by 2, so the winners of the double tournament at Roland Garros pocket around 300,000 euros. As for the main event now, the single, the winners will receive 2.4 million euros each, an increase of 100,000 euros compared to 2023. If we take the figures in relation to the doubles, 300,000 for the winner versus 2.4 million for the winner in single, the difference is huge. I did a podcast on my other channel, Beyond the Tiebreak, on the fact that tennis is trying to attract single-stars players to play more doubles, but when I see the massive difference in earnings between singles and doubles, not sure that it encourages a single-star player to play double tournaments. But that's a debate for another day. What about the juniors in all of this? The under 18s have their own Roland Garros. It's simply called Roland Garros Junior. As they are minors, they do not earn any money to my knowledge, no money from the tournament organization to be specific. Here I'm talking about the juniors who are in the junior tournament. Because if you're a junior, but you play in the main event with the stars of world tennis because you are already great, such as Mira Andreeva, for example, then you earn money. I've been talking about the non-disabled player since the beginning of this episode, but don't forget the player in wheelchairs. I also invite you to watch at least one match for those who have never seen one because I think it's impressive. That being said, I cannot blame you too much for not having the opportunity to see them because it's poorly publicized, super complicated to find matches on TV or streaming. Anyway, that's another subject too. But with the Olympic Games, which will take place from August 28 to September 8, Eurosport and other networks, depending on where you are on the planet, should show images of wheelchair tennis. But let's go back on the business and the prize money. In the men's and women's single wheelchair tournament, in the open category, where players are affected in the lower limbs, they received around 8,000 euros for a defeat in the first round and 62,000 euros for the winner. While in doubles, the teams share 5,000 euros for a defeat in the first round to 21,000 euros for the winner. Finally, regarding the other wheelchair category called the quad, where athletes' lower and upper limbs are affected, a defeat in the first round in singles is 12,000 euros. The final victory is 62,000 euros. And in double, they share 8,000 euros for a defeat in the first round and 21,000 euros if they win the tournament. Even if the organizer have made effort in recent years by increasing the prize money for disabled players, we see a very big difference with non-disabled players. 2.4 million for the non-disabled player winner in singles versus 62,000 euros for the winner in wheelchair singles. With these amounts, I wonder how many wheelchair players can earn a good living. We tend to say for non-disabled players that the top 100 in the world earn a good living, and beyond that, it gets complicated. For wheelchair players, it's clearly not the first 100 players who earn a good living. Maybe the first 10, maybe. We look at the amount earned on the player side, but how things are going on the tournament side. The revenue of Roland Garros is between 300 and 350 million euros. This explains why they can redistribute 53.4 million euros to all these players. But what are the sources of financing for the tournament? The biggest piece is the TV rights. They represent around 120 million euros, or almost 35%. Thanks to the partnership with Amazon Prime, Prime can broadcast evening matches while France Télévisions broadcasts matches during the day. France Télévisions is a French public TV channel. In France, they historically had the monopoly of Roland Garros since the dawn of time, but now Amazon Prime is in the mix. This agreement with Amazon Prime was signed in 2019 and is running until 2027. It allowed a 25% increase in TV rights in recent years for the French Open. Another source of income for Roland Garros, partnership and sponsors, which represent around 60 million euros. Then ticketing, around 55 million euros. The VIP boxes and the food, around 56 million euros. And finally, derivative products, around 25 million euros. And that's it for today. That's it for this episode. For the next couple of days, I will actually be in Paris at Roland Garros to see matches up close. Therefore, the next episode won't be next Monday, but the one after. In the meantime, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel. I wish you a lovely day. See you soon for a new episode. Ciao.